Okay, so like, is it just me or does like anyone else think like the whole RetroSlop bad situation is kind of stupid, or just like RetroSlop in general? Because it's like creators like RetroSim and like even just like sort of random smaller creators, and that are just like getting the audiences and stuff to like, you know, pick on people who dress like in the RetroSlop like kind of avatar. I just want to go on like record and say I don't mind RetroSim, you know, I'm subscribed to him, I follow him on Twitter, you know, I think he does really great stuff for platforms like Roblox and Discord and other places because he steps up where a lot of companies don't do jack. And like the common gist of it's like a cosplay that's over the top, or people pretending to be retro but still using like modern, you know, like items. But the thing is, a lot of the time when I've seen it happen, or just like in cases where it's happened, literally anything can be considered RetroSlop. Like even stuff that doesn't fit like that former description. Because there'll be people who like maybe don't even have any Robux and just are wearing like, I don't know, a Roblox hat with the like a t-shirt on or something. And I've seen people like that being called RetroSlop. Or just people with like studded avatars, and in some cases, yeah, fine, whatever, maybe they are considered like under that sort of category. But other times it's like people who are actually using like Roblox outfits and whatnot, you know. And I see people saying like, oh, it's rooted in ableism and, you know, they're bullying kids and stuff and whatnot. And to be fair, I think that's partially true. But again, it's kind of also falling under like any time where people were bullying people for like, oh, you're emo, or you're a furry. It's like kind of just all under that when these buzzwords become like a big hate trend. Okay, and another point is I think a lot of people who are claiming that hating on RetroSlop's like hating on neurodivergent teenagers, like yeah, maybe in some cases it is, but I don't necessarily think a lot of people think twice about it. They're just using a TikTok buzzword. And my other point is a lot of people who are claiming that it's targeting neurodivergent aren't actually neurodivergent themselves, or a lot of the people who are saying like, oh, I'm getting bullied because people will call me RetroSlop because I'm neurodivergent. It's like, I'm sorry, but I don't necessarily believe that you are. Like, sure, I could be wrong, and in some cases I probably am, but for the vast majority, you know, I don't think that's the case. A lot of people are just claiming stuff, and I've known people who faked having, like, mental disorders and mental illnesses when I was, you know, in, like, people's equivalent of, like, late middle school and high school. There are people who do that because they think it makes you different. It doesn't. And this is coming from someone who actually got diagnosed and actually suffers with stuff. It's not like a sort of quirky, silly goober thing. It's really not. It sucks most of the time, you know, because we're in a world that doesn't deal with it. And it is quite degrading having people who aren't diagnosed, who don't even do more research other than a TikTok video, or just think, oh yeah, I do some of these things, I must be autistic. It's like, no, that's not how it works, I'm sorry. And people would just kind of pick at anything to call people that. Because like, I've even been called RetroSlop and I don't really care much because I just think, oh, it's just kind of stupid. Because like, I'll show you an avatar and I'll tell you why, like, by the definition, it's not. Because I used like real Roblox items, you know, it's simpler, it's not over the top. Another point I see about RetroSlop is like people who made in 2020. So I've been on the platform since at least 2010 because I used to play on my dad's Roblox account with him, because when I was a kid, he'd monitor me. That's the kind of stuff I grew up playing, along with like Lego Island 2 on like the disc for the computer, Flash games when they actually fucking worked, Fireboy and Water Girl, a lot of stuff by Armored Games, that kind of thing. And I've had several accounts throughout the years. You know, I played from 2010 to 2015, where I had a spike before moving back to like sort of, you know, Xbox Minecraft stuff, and then I had at least 4 more accounts between 2016 and 2017 because I was kind of dumb and didn't save my passwords. And then one of the accounts I do still have access to is from 2018. The main account I use is from 2020 because that's where I got my first amount of Robux on because, you know, I wasn't allowed to spend money. I think a join date should be irrelevant. You know, if you're trying to dress up or customize your character in Roblox, it's fine to be almost anything, just as long as it's not like inappropriate for kids, because this is a kids platform whether you like it or not. And I know adults play on this website, but that's still not an excuse. And it's like, it's gotten so bad where like the creator of Gubby has been getting death threats. And to be fair, there's a bigger issue on Roblox and just in general, which is the Gooner epidemic. You know, that's like a big issue. Stuff in general, that's like really bad because, you know, Roblox is a kids platform. It has been since, you know, the year it was created, which was my birth year. Kids are being exposed to really weird avatars and people, and that's leading to kids then getting taken advantage of, or other kids being exposed to that, thinking it's normal, and then exposing more kids, leaving them vulnerable to really bad people. To be honest, like, it just reminds me over and over of people getting upset about nonsensical issues when they're bigger issues. There are actual people wearing really disgusting avatars, people wearing bodysuits or inherently or adult themed clothing. Like, personally, I couldn't care less what people wear. My only issue is with people wearing adult clothing, especially because I've literally been in voice chat games and there's been like a 5-year-old who's bypassed the voice chat thing and been able to get on there. In like popular games, you'll come across a lot of people wear those weird avatars. Like, I've played Forsaken when it was big. There were people that were just like that. You will find those kinds of people on there, and it's weird. It's a problem. Roblox isn't doing anything about it. And then all I hear and see on YouTube is just, the retro situation is bad, or RetroSlop is getting out of hand, or people just harassing people in games and going, this is RetroSlop, man. And it's like, 1, you don't even have a set definition. 2, why does that matter? Like, yeah, I get it, it's cringe, whatever, but it's still like, there's bigger issues. The amount of kids that are being exposed to like really adult things from a young age because of avatars or just whatever. You know, you hear about it all the time that kids on Discord are being bothered, I'll put it lightly, by adults, or in Roblox or VR chat, wherever basically. And it seems to be getting worse and worse. We're in a day and age where a lot of newer parents, or even older parents, are just handing off iPads and tablets to kids and basically not monitoring them or their kids' activities. And I do believe in respecting your kids' privacy. Kids having mobile phones from like the age of 4, for example. And I'm not exaggerating, that has been a real thing. There's like bigger things to worry about. Why are we caring about something small and kind of dumb?